Hey now, it's Monday, May 13th. You get business Frank, not Hall of Fame autograph Frank. I blurred out the background, but the reason why I wanted to come on and talk today was, and I've been out of the loop, granted, is Fanatics put out this statement about their control processes, and they had an independent accountants report. And I don't know how many of you actually went out and read the report, let alone how many went out there and understood the report. So I thought I'd take a few minutes today on a Monday the 13th and just put it in what we like to say plain English, what the report says and all that. So I printed out the report here. I don't know if you can't see it up close. Trust me, this is the report right here, printed out. And I thought I'd go over it and maybe put some narrative to it. So if people really care about this, they can understand it. And I don't know who's going to watch this, but if you do watch it, hit a like I appreciate it, or put a comment. Let's move to the report itself. So first of all, you can see the report right here. And KPMG was a top firm. So, I mean, if KPMG did it, there's no, let's say, shenanigans going on underneath it. I believe what they tested is 100% correct. If they put their name to it, this stuff is good. So, if we read it, though, I mean, we read it up close. They said we examine management of Fanatics, assertion on page 2. And we're going to jump to that in a second. That basically their objective that high value cards are randomly inserted. But I mean, a couple of things to note here, which I thought is interesting. First of all, is they were engaged to look at from February 9th to March 31st, which is a Friday to a Sunday, which is it's a long time period, but it's a weird time period. I mean, I wish maybe they were. I wasn't at the conference, but I wish Fanatics was a little more transparent. Instead of the date, what products they actually observed. That would be real interesting to me. So for all I know is they're only looking, for example, and I know this is not the case, but say Top Series 2, which doesn't pull very many big pulls. Maybe that's all Topps was collating at that time and randomly inserting. And another big thing to understand, this is really weird, is what exactly does random mean? You know what I'm saying? They don't really describe what random is. Random means there's absolutely no basically manual decision made. It's like the only way something really can be random in our industry is that like if the computer decides and somehow puts it in. So there's no thought whatsoever included. Another thing was interesting to me is how this is, again, KPMG is just taking basically Fanatics statement, which is on the second page. And they're saying, is this true or false? And then so basically they're saying, yes, everything that Fanatics told us is true. So if we move on to what Fanatics is saying is basically Fanatics is saying, like, listen, look at us from February 9th to March 31st and look at our policy, for putting all these high value cards. And what's a high value card? They told KPMG a high value card is anything that has a number on it, a relic, or an autograph. Now, to me, that's not necessarily high valued. I mean, especially like relics and even autographs these days. I mean, you can go on eBay and buy brand new autographs of these unknown Bowman players for like $5, $10. So, I mean, high value is different to everyone, but to me, I would think a high value card. And I guess I could see their point. I mean, Topps doesn't know what how to quantify what something's going to be worth as soon as it comes out. But I mean, there could be thousands and thousands of high valued cards per se coming through during this time period. There could be none at all. I mean, they don't tell you what these high value cards were. I would love to know what product they actually did and how they determined things were really random. And again, they said management is responsible to make sure, for example, they gave Topps a list of all the autograph, relic, and numbered cards. So KPMG was only looking at the list that Fanatics provided to them. They had to make sure that the control objective, and again, I wish they would define what those controls are. I see in the press release a little bit that those controls include governance, physical security, job configuration review, packaging line operations, and quality control audits. But the quality, I mean, a little more definition into that. It kind of would have been nice for our end user, I think. But I mean, again, I think the management, what they're saying right here, listen, what they're saying is just be careful. We were good from February 9th to March 31st. Anything after that, our report doesn't cover. So wanted to break in just a little bit to give my 2 cents. What this is saying, I mean, you could really, if I were Fanatics, and I'm not saying Fanatics did this, I don't know, but if Fanatics wanted to, they could control the whole process by saying, listen, in this period, for this time period, we're only going to insert, let's say, 20 cards. We're going to make sure they're random. And then once the KPMG leaves, we're going to go back to the old ways. Now, I'm not saying Fanatics did that. I didn't know that. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, I would have liked to know exactly what cards, what high value cards were actually inserted so we could see where they did end up. So if there's a chance that like backyard breaks, I don't know who the latest breakers are. I don't keep track of it that much, but it's a possibility that these loaded cases, loaded whatever, were not even actually packed during this time period. So again, I would love to have known what the supply was from February 9th to March 31st. We'll never know. I don't even well release that information. So that's it. 6-minute rambling and what's going on. I'll get back to autographs. So anyways, questions, I'm happy to answer them below. But as always, keep collecting.